Ah! This the camera switched on me. It has been one technical mess. Ah, what are you doing over there? What are you doing? Hi, and welcome to Cockatoos with Attitude. And here's one with attitude. Do you have any
Yeah.
attitude in there? Hmm. You're
Hello
pretty
and
silly.
welcome, everybody.
I've got the Mullican Mafia over here. And Lucy. Are you what are you doing, Luce? Hmm? What are you doing? Well, we have Mander, don't we? Mander Bird. And we have Sugar and Lucy and Snowball. And I said Sugar, that's Jasmine. Sugar and what are you doing back there? KK Bird. Cecil. Another one of those nice days. Of course, we have summer coming up in a while, and that'll make a difference, won't it? Our spring is more like your summer, but what are you doing out there? What are you doing? Today we're going to talk a bit about breeder birds and what that means and what happens to these guys. Wow. Why they're a special problem if you try to bring one in, right? Amanda goes, I don't know. I don't even get along with other birds. They won't have anything to do with me. So I don't know about any of that.
What a
Amanda.
cutie.
Yeah, he's a good boy. Well, he's all the way across the aviary. You might get to sit in my lap if you want to, Jazz, but I wouldn't count on it.
So today we have KK Bird instead of Bob.
Yeah, the KK's out. You know, he was demanding to come out, and and Bob was actually playing, so I just bring him out first. Come on, throat. I don't know what I need a throat for. 15 minutes trying to get this the microphone to actually work. There's a lot of bugs in this latest release of Apple's software for their phone. Sometimes the camera won't start. Sometimes the audio won't work. I mean, it's not like it used to be. What are you doing up there, kid? Huh?
Mm-hmm. So we have already quite some chatters here. So let's say hello to them. First was Tiki Tiki today. Then Jocelyn Trigler is here, and she's a member now for 23 months. So thank you for that, for your support.
No, thank you.
Yeah, Shah is with us. Then Falconser is here. She has typing problems. That's okay. Then we have Giselle here. And I think that's it so far. So hello to all the other viewers who are just watching or watch later.
Hello to all the
They're
snowballs, the
peeking
voyeurs.
in.
Yeah.
What's with the snowball?
I said hello to all
Voyeurs. The snowballs.
the voyeurs, the ones who are just watching, the voyeurs, the snowballs. All right. Yeah, I've had some comments about Mango and his situation. I mean, I have to carry him around in a towel to get him out here. And the reason is, it's not, I know he went through a lot of issues, one of which was a fire, that kind of thing. But with breeder birds, the big thing is they are not handled because if you want to maximize your capital intake, in other words, you're a good capitalist, then you don't touch them and you leave them you leave them together to produce eggs constantly. That's the deal. And then each one of those eggs is worth, $1,000 to you. So unfortunately, most of the birds that are like that have not been handled. They don't know anything about being handled. Now, that isn't to say that that's the right thing to do. I mean, they belong in the wild, not in captivity. But if they're going to be here, they need to be trained to accept humans. And breeder birds generally are not treated that way. When I got, he was pretty young. When I got Cecil over there, he'd been used as a breeder bird for a while, and but he never really took to the process, so they got rid of him. Um, you know, like they do these farmers do when a pig isn't growing fast enough. They got rid of him.
Well,
So
the
he did
thing with Cecil was they thought he was a she. So
well.
basically,
Yeah,
Cecil was together with another male, and they wondered why Cecil wasn't laying eggs.
yeah,
Luck
yeah,
for Cecil.
yeah. They really shouldn't call us Homo sapiens. Sapiens means wise, and we are definitely not that wise. But but because he was got young enough, I was able to bring him out of it. But it's not easy with an older bird. It's like that story about wrote about Danielle, the little girl who'd been kept basically in a room for 7 years with no interaction. Um, I mean, this is a little girl that couldn't focus on anything. I'm going to try to put that story up, maybe only in audio format, but um, she couldn't focus on anything. She moved around like a crab. Um, the last I heard was they had taught her how to use a spoon. I mean, we're talking, a child that's 12 years old that's just learning how to use a spoon. So the thing is, humans have a dependency period, a juvenile dependency period. We all know that's a pretty long period, right? You up to adolescence. With native groups, usually by the time you reach adolescence, you're considered an adult. So there are juvenile dependency periods around 12. We stretch it out longer in this culture or in Western cultures, but it really is about the first 12 years. With a parrot, it's about the first 5. So if you're training them, you're not handling them because you're going to use them as a breeder bird. You're kind of leaving them to their own devices. You're not giving them much to do, and then you throw another bird in with them. You are establishing a lifelong pattern. That doesn't mean you can't improve it. I mean, with Cecil, he didn't go through that much, but he went through enough for when I got him, he was like a statue. And it took about 6 months to break him out of that so that he was, he started developing a personality and, in fact, many personalities. But he was young enough that it was easier to break him out of it. But once you've gone past that 5-year juvenile dependency period, you're going to have a bird that really has problems. I mean, severe autistic problems. It's functionally autistic, so that it doesn't see you as anything other than a jailer. Really, you're the one that keeps it in the cage, and its world has always been inside of a cage. It doesn't really know anything else. So You have to be terribly compassionate, and you have to drop this idea that love can solve everything, because it's not going to. You can improve their situation. With Mango, he might eventually break out of some of this, but there's no guarantee. So at this point, he gets out, he gets to play, he will get close. He gets close to me at times, but he has no interest in me because he don't hit me in the head, you little monster. She wants to get petted, so she whacks me in the head. That's not the way to do things, little girl. I'll have KK come over and teach you a lesson. No, I wouldn't do that to you. No, I wouldn't. Um, so that story, which was about the little girl in Florida, is what you're looking at when you talk about a breeder bird. So if someone says, "I have this bird that was a breeder, and would you like to take it in?" Well, at that point, you're really saying that you might be bringing in a bird that never considers you more than a jailer. You're the one that puts the food in the cage, and that's it. Because they don't do much with breeder birds. They don't do much more than that. In fact, I talked to one breeder and she said she never takes her birds to the vet. Yeah, because that cuts the bottom line, right? You don't make as much money if you have to take them into the vet and pay for things. So um, that doesn't mean that with ABA you can't start making inroads, but it's going to take a long time. And if you're one of those people with animals that feels like you need to feel a bond, don't get yourself a bird that's been a breeder because you might not ever feel that bond. That bird may never bond to you. It's been bonding to other birds. And even though it's been doing it in restricted, it's like a child born in jail. Um, it's always been in jail. It doesn't really understand anything except being behind those bars and dealing with other birds. Mango's actually come a long way. He'll eat out of my hand now, which I guess I've been told he did that before, but I wasn't there to see the situation. But you can still tell when you look at him that he's more interested in the other birds that are around. But when it comes to me, he's just looking to see what I'm going to do to him, right? Because in the past, the only thing interaction he had with humans was they did things to him, right? If a female that was with him wasn't producing, then they moved him to, move that female to another cage, or they circulated females so that he would produce more eggs so they can make more money. That's all he was. So now he's in a situation where he's actually interacting with other birds to some extent. I have to be careful around females for obvious reasons. Um, Jasmine, he actually he actually gets a little threatening to Jasmine because Jasmine tells him where to go. She wants nothing to do with him. Same as with Bander. She's not the least bit interested. Sugar wants to be preened, so anybody that wants to preen her can interact. I have to keep that to a minimum, like no more than 5 minutes, and he has to be strictly working on her head. And I have to keep him away from Jasmine or keep my eyes on him the whole time he's anywhere near Jasmine. Because Jasmine will tell him no, and then he will try to strike at her. So he's not used to the idea of no. Who knows? He may have actually killed females in a cage. We don't know any of that history, but we do know that breeder birds do that. Uh, but you never know. In a year, he may be getting along a lot better. He may still have to be carted out in a towel. He may eventually step up. I doubt it, but I have the tools. I keep working with it. He's not as sensitive about my hands, so still working and will continue to work on desensitizing him from my hands and acclimating him to the birds out here. finding out what he likes and making sure that when he calls me and he wants an apple or he wants a banana or he wants a treat, he likes edamame, so there's a treat you can bring him and get a little bit of attention. That may be the one that I take out of his diet and start training him. On some days he may get it in his food bowl, and other days he may have to get into target training in order to get it. But he'll get that edamame he likes one way or the other. Some days it'll be in his bowl. Some days he'll have to take it from me. But that's something. If you feel you need to make a connection, this is not the kind of bird for you. And somebody who has a bird like that is not making any money for them, is going to try to pawn that bird off on you if you show even the slightest interest, because it's it's just a deficit now. They're feeding the bird, they're not getting anything for it. An ethical vet with a bird taken like that to them will not put the bird down, but you know, that's and I would say probably most avian vets are ethical that way. They wouldn't do it. You're not supposed to put down a perfectly healthy bird, but it's probably more likely they would do that with a bird than a dog, but because people understand dogs, right? What are you doing up there? What are you doing? So no matter what stories you hear about a breeder bird, when they say, well, this bird, won't step up. Well, there's the reason. The ultimate reason why a breeder bird doesn't step up is it was never taught to. It never interacted with humans other than to watch the food bowls be changed, or occasionally have another bird thrown in with them, that kind of thing. They just don't know about humans. So whatever story you're told, remember that one. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. There's no humidity out here today. So the frogs are looking for a place to hang out. My throat seems like a good place, doesn't it, Mander? It is cute though. Mango does actually, he talks to me now in the morning or when he wants something. If he wants a pine cone, and I can tell what he wants now. He wants a pine cone, he wants a piece of apple, he wants a piece of banana, he wants edamame. He will talk to me, you know. Um, but it's more of a demand kind of thing. I want, I want, I want, and I fulfill his demand. Well, after a while, it's come bearing gifts works, especially when he's asking and receiving what he needs. He probably didn't do much of that before. Breeder birds usually don't respond to them and bring them in. They put the food in the bowl. That's it. They don't generally do more than that. So you take the egg. That's it. Yeah, at one point I had to just decide because he just backs away anytime. Well, he doesn't completely run away now, but he backs away anytime you try to get your hands near his feet. So to get him out here, I really had no other choice but then to towel him, which, just basically you throw a towel over him and then he'll run into it a little bit. And then you wrap the front section under his head and take him outside. Same in here. You just corner him, you know, and then you don't talk. In that whole process, you don't talk. You don't want to say gentle things to you. You don't say something gentle to someone. What's a good scenario? It's like somebody walking into the room and threatening you, with threatening bodily actions, like they're coming at you, like they're going to hit you. and then saying, "Oh, sweetie," you know. So the next time you hear somebody go, "Oh, sweetie," you don't really believe it, right? It's actually a threat. So that's another thing to remember with these kinds of birds, actually with any of them, but it's extremely important with these breeder birds is that you don't want to make kindly little sounds or sweet little sounds when you're doing something that they're not happy about. He's not too unhappy about being toweled. He wants to come out. So he kind of gives in now. At first, he wasn't sure what I was doing, but now that he knows that every time he gets wrapped in a towel, he comes out here, uh, then he's a lot more happy with it. Going inside is another deal. Going inside, he will try to get away from me with a little more force. I mean, he doesn't try to hurt me or anything, but he will do whatever he can not to get into the towel out here. Inside, he's a little more relaxed about it. Again, what's the reward? Remember that the behavior you see is a function of the consequence. So, although I am toweling him, he understands he's coming to the aviary. So he knows that's the consequence. When he's going back inside, he's going back to that cage. Now he knows cages. That's where he spent his whole life. The majority of his life was in cages. So, with no attention from the outside. So he's not used to seeing anything outside the bars. It's like that poem in German by Rainer Maria Rilke, which Der Panther, the Panther. Um, in the poem, he describes this panther looking at the bars and not seeing anything outside of them, just going, watching, looking at the bars, looking at the bars, looking at the bars, and then he stops for a moment and seems to see something outside and then goes back to looking at the bars. That's the way old zoos used to be. You saw a lot of animals like that. You won't see them like that at the San Diego Zoo, uh, or the Wild Animal Park, which they now call Safari Park. But it's the way he looks. When he's sitting in a cage, he's just kind of used to being in there. But I've seen improvement. It's just slow going. And he does have a good time out here. He gets along fairly well with most of the birds. Lucy won't leave him alone though. She's found somebody that preens and she just keeps bugging him about being preened, and he's pretty good about it. And he preens her for a while, then he tries to get away from her because she won't leave him alone. What jazz? Jazz. What Jazzy? Jazzy's got one eye open. Sugar's actually being alert. Lucy is sleeping. Snowball's half asleep. KK is preening. Cecil is playing with his homemade gum. So that's the skinny on breeder birds. I just wanted to bring that up so that uh, if you run into a situation where someone offers you a bird that has been a breeder, you understand what you're getting into. And in some ways, it could be easier because a breeder bird's used to being in a cage. So, but you don't want them to stay that way. And to work with them is not easy, but it's rewarding. I mean, just when he started accepting me, working around his cage, he actually will eat something while I'm standing there, which he didn't do in the beginning. Because he didn't know me. Just a different jailer, right? What? What? Do you want to get petted again? Is that what you're saying? Hmm? What's up, Mander? Hmm? Hey, Kay, you all right over there? Hey, Kay. Hey, Kay. What you doing, KK? What you doing? What you doing, buddy? Starting to lose his marbles over there. He does that once in a while. You okay? Well, come here. Well, come here. Come on. Come here. Well, come here. Come on. Come on, KK. Come on. Come on. Come on, KK. Hi, KK. Come here. Oh, come here. Okay, bird. Going back up on the bars. I better go get him. Hey, you all right? You okay? What's the matter? What's the matter? You all right? Hmm? Yes, sir. Well, I don't want you hanging on the bars and crying. No, I don't. Mm-mm. It's more fun to have you out, talking, having fun. Yeah. He gets good at having fun when he tries. How you doing, buddy? Well, yes, you are a good bird. How you doing? Well, I can't pet you if you're standing on my arm because I got to hold this silly camera. Mm. Well, I do. I've got to hold the silly camera. Yes, I do.
KK is such a cutie. So I we have more chatters I haven't greeted yet. We have Colin Thurston here, and Eleanor is here in the chat and helps me moderating. Then let's see, Jem and Jamie came in, and Lisa Banerjee is here. So hello and welcome to you guys.
Hello. And KK says hello. Our movie quote I'll read in a second once it comes across. It's rather a long one, so. See how she destroys us with her tongue for a hatchet? You've got to cut this hideous story out of her brain. I'll give you one clue ahead of time. It is not a horror story. Hi, Cecily. Want to come see your friend? You want to see your friend? Hmm? And all the time KK's been here, this is the one good friend he's made. In the wild, they tend to have connections with a lot of other birds, but it isn't so true in captivity. they don't know exactly how to make friends. Do you, KK the bird? Hmm? Cecil's good at making friends, though. Don't know why, but he is. Took him a little while with Mango, because Mango's kind of wild and crazy. Obviously, because he was kept in a cage, he doesn't have... The social norms are a lot more distant for him than they are for Mander. So he'll get in front of Cecil and start spinning and doing all kinds of strange things, and Cecil looks at him like, "What's up with you?"
We have a question from Giselle. She would like to know, do you house those bird friends next to each other?
Actually, no. Um, Cecil is he's in the corner. He's in a corner spot, and then KK is all the way across the room where the front door is. And the problem is the moving these cages around is not easy. It was a thought, but and then they react sometimes to being moved around. So it's just. But no, the only time they interact is out here. They will talk occasionally. Um, they'll get back and forth talking to each other, but they don't even get to see each other much in that room. And his cage, because California cages, they made great cages, but they didn't leave enough space on the bottom between the tray and the bars. So I actually have to put his cage up on blocks, and then the actual tray sits a little bit above the floor. I have something to raise it up from the floor, but it's basically a tray on the floor so that he won't take the paper and drag it into his cage, which he will. So that is just the way he operates. Everything else about that cage is fine, and it was when Chloe was in it, it was not a problem because she didn't like to tear, she didn't tear paper up that way, but he'll tear up any paper. I give him paper, but that's never enough. He'll grab it if he can. So, and for cleanliness reasons, you really can't let him do that, right, Cecil? Hmm? Right, Cecil? Yeah, he's been here quite a while now, and he's don't whack me on the head. You're gonna get yourself in trouble. KK's down here, and he's not gonna let you whack me. He's not gonna let you whack me on the head. So cut it out. He's like, I don't know what you're saying. He's making a bunch of words, and I don't have any idea. Trying to flip this so you can see what she's doing. That she just moved away, of course.
So nobody has a clue yet about the movie.
Stop
Wait,
that.
a Spirit Matter just dropped in and is guessing Somely Last Summer.
That's it.
Excellent, and welcome, Spirit.
Well done. Now, that's one of the great movies, and not many people have seen it, I don't think. Montgomery Clift, Elizabeth Taylor, and Katharine Hepburn. There's a combination for you. You're not going to do that anymore. Here. You want to tell her to, would you tell her to take a flying leap? The look on Jasmine's face. You brought KK up next to me. Why are you doing that? KK shakes his head. I'd go somewhere if I were you.
Have we played already the you guessed the movie right clip?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was busy with situation there. I will see if I can find it. Yeah, I know I got you, didn't I? I'm sorry. But you weren't being nice to me, little girl. What? What? I'm not going to reinforce you whacking me on the head with your beak. No, I'm not. Yeah, she doesn't know what to think of me bringing KK up to look at her. So yeah. I know that bird doesn't want me around. What's that all about? The wind chill factor is just increased a little bit here. I see so. Hey, KK. Hey, KK. Jasmine, you're a little too pushy today. No, I'm not going to pet you if you're going to start opening your beak. You're asking for trouble. I'll bring him up again. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, little girl. She's in a mood. Hi, Jasmine. You're in a bit of a mood today, aren't you, kid? Sometimes Jasmine takes pushy to the extreme, but hi, Cecil. Is that all you wanted? Okay. You feeling better now? Mhm. Are you feeling better? Mhm. You gonna say anything? KK? KK, good bird? KK, good bird? KK, good bird? What? Over here? All right. Yeah? Are you sure? You are? You sure? Mm. Just want to sit on my arm, huh? Jasmine's out of her mood. Mm. You out of your mood now too? Mm. KK the bird. Hi, Cecil. Yep. Makes you remember. You hear so many people say, "I want a female umbrella." Umbrella. They're so cuddly. Yeah. Let's see. Where's the female umbrella? She's looking out the at the aviary right now. Where are the males? They're all being cuddly. Well, Snowball's not being cuddly, but he would be given the opportunity. He's quite cuddly. He just doesn't like to do it in public. He likes a smaller group, like just me and him, or me and one other bird in the aviary. Romeo's a cuddler too, right? Right, Cecil? Mhm. Now, something else that they found through research is that if a bird, I don't believe in breeding them in captivity, but if a bird was bred in captivity and was handled for 20 minutes a day, but raised by its parents in a large aviary, it will turn out without most of these problems that these birds have in captivity. But that's not going to happen much. That's not the way it works here. The cash register doesn't go cha-ching, then they don't get bred. So people have to stop buying these guys from breeders. Put the breeders out of business. Right, Cecil? Especially the ones that can't tell a male from a female. Yeah. Right, Cecil. We were supposed to get a delivery of wood today, and I got a call from Home Depot, and they're going to bring it by Wednesday. So, so we might be interrupted with a huge delivery of wood. And I have to order 16 footers because when you pick up the 8 footers, they charge you almost double the price. So to get outside here with a circular saw and chop those in half and then drag them into the woodshed. Woodshed's a great place to take breeders too, isn't it? We take not breeder birds, but breeders. We take the human breeders in the woodshed, teach them a lesson. Yeah. What do you think? Huh? What does Cecil have to say? Hmm. You guys, you're limiting my mobility here a bit. Cecil's demanding petting, and KK wants to sit on my wrist. So it's too bad these umbrella males are not affectionate. Well, I don't know if anybody has seen that movie Suddenly Last Summer, but it's definitely an interesting movie. What are you doing? Definitely shows the versatility of all the actors involved. But Elizabeth Taylor, if you have any doubts she's got talent, you won't after watching that movie. Or she had talent. I don't even know if she's still alive. She probably isn't. You guys, do you have any comments, you guys? Two preeners here. What are you doing over here? Last time I looked, it was Mander over here. What are you doing? Another thing about when somebody offers you a bird is that they will the key thing there is that bird going to step up? If the bird doesn't step up, it might be a breeder bird, no matter what they tell you. I've learned one thing is that people, when they're trying to offload a bird, they will make up any story they possibly can. Um, there's one bird we have. I was originally told there was nothing wrong with the bird. Bird's perfectly fine. Good personality, doesn't have any further destructive behavior. Um, the story was completely false. And when I said we don't take birds without problems, that's when the truth came out. So, but I knew when I was getting Mango that Mango is I heard breeder bird, so that was what I keyed on. And everything else you hear is, oh, thank you, Cecil. You make a point of doing that, don't you? Just have to poop on me. Yeah, doesn't he? You're the only one that does it, and you do it intentionally, and you're a pest, but I love you. I should. That's one thing. There's a comedian I've been listening to, and he was talking about he needed to get directions to the airport, and he asked he asked someone, how do you get to the airport? And the response was, well, he started off with, well, I'm not going to lie to you. And this guy, the comedian, is Finnish, right? He's not from America, so he's like, why would someone lie to you? I mean, I wouldn't get to the airport if he lied to me. Why would somebody start out a sentence with, I'm not going to lie to you? I think there's a cultural problem there in that we tend to bend and twist the truth to get what we want. So you'll hear that, oh, this bird's perfectly fine, and there are no problems. And then you find out there's all kinds of issues. Or you'll get stories that are bent and twisted so they're not true, but they're trying to get you to take the bird. Sometimes it's difficult to find a home for a bird when the person no longer wants it. Right, Sugar? Right, Sugary? Sugar bird? Oh, Sugar bird. Now, this is a bird that isn't cuddly at all. I've cuddled with her a couple of times in all of our history, but she's attentive and she likes to be preened. She pays attention to you. Don't you, Shug? She's a good girl. Few feathers that need to be preened there, huh, girl? Hmm? If you like a good mystery, um, and something where you don't really figure out what was going on till the end, Suddenly Last Summer is one of the best for that. If you like good banter between actors and good acting, it's excellent. Katharine Hepburn, when you first see her in the movie, she comes down in an elevator in her house, her own personal elevator, and you can tell she thinks she's the queen of the world. Great performance. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hi, sugar. One of the things I learned when I was taking Dr. Friedman's LLA course was that you should discount anything you're told. Don't believe a word of it. She didn't expressly say that people are liars, but she said it's better to watch and observe behavior and work with behavior. The one exception to that would be, well, it's a behavior, but when your bird will not step up, that tells you something right there. Most birds who won't step up are either breeder birds or birds that never get were around people. Oh, what are you doing? What's up? What? 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 KK bird? KK the bird? Are you a bird? You're a bird. Yeah. Hello. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Come here. What are you doing? Yeah? Really? Are you serious? Yeah. Aw, that's my boy. What are you doing? Hmm? Oh, wow. You're having a Boo Radley moment. Hmm? Yeah. Mm, 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 I know. Life is tough for the KK the bird, isn't it? Hmm? Life after the character, the bird. Easy on the finger. Don't get too rough. Don't get too rough. Don't get too rough. Yeah. What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? What are you doing? What are you doing? Do, 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 do. So to get his attention off his break that cycle. What are you doing? Hey. Oh, you're gonna start it up, aren't you? You know, if you start screaming, you gotta go inside. Let's not do that. Let's not go inside. Let's let's
I think
mm.
for the viewers, it's muted. They just can basically maybe see from his face or beak that he's probably screaming, huh, KK?
Oh, he's going at it full blast.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, KK. Yeah, that's stupid that they don't have an option where you can have the background sounds of it. Hey, you. Hi. Hi. No, let's not scream. Let's not scream. KK the bird,
Oh, KK.
you okay? No, he said I'm
Poor KK
KK, not
wants to get
okay.
his message out, and Apple or StreamYard, somebody's muting him. That's not fair.
Yeah, it's StreamYard. It's the way they have
Is
it
it?
set
I'm not
up.
completely sure if it's StreamYard. When I go always in the setting, it basically says that the tick you have to set for canceling background noises is actually not there. So actually, there should be background noises.
According to ChatGPT, it's automatic. When you're on the phone, the background noises are cut off. If you want
Okay.
to have, if you want background noises, you got to
Because
start it
I
up
looked
on.
specifically for you. I mean, I can, as I have access to your micro as well, I can see it, and then it says like, no, it basically says like the background
Well,
noises are not reduced.
yeah, it says that, but it's not true. Well, obviously, so you can see that it's not true, right? Um, ChatGPT says they have it the way they have it set up. So yeah, I have to start it on the
That's the
computer.
problem with StreamYard. At the moment, they add every week a feature we don't not need, and the things that are actually necessary to still not work.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Although what the problem I had earlier was the microphone wasn't working, and that was an Apple thing. And it's like I've gone to yesterday, I forget what the shot was, but there was something that Jasmine was doing which I wanted to catch. And when I turned the camera on, there was nothing. It's not the first time. So I checked with Chat GPT, and yeah, there's a lot of people complaining that with this operating system 226.2, that they're having a lot of difficulty with a camera not starting. Well, what good is the darn thing if you can't take a picture when you want to or take a video when you want to? And
Yep.
it's system wide too, because I tried opening Black Magic Cam and it didn't have a picture either. So it's obviously an Apple problem. Um, and they don't care as long as they're making money. So until people stop buying their products, not going to happen.
Well, that's not good, but cannot change it.
No, well, Tim Cook won't live forever.
No.
He's close to retirement age now anyway. So
The next idiot is certainly in the pipe.
I just can't understand why Tim Cook isn't, why he didn't quit and go to work for Pepsi. That's where he should go to Pepsi because he definitely has the same skill at running a company that John Scully does. At least creatively, he's about as creative as John Scully. Um, and for those who don't know, that was the man that just about killed Apple until Steve
Mm.
Jobs came back. Steve Jobs came back, got paid $1 a year. That's all he wanted, and he brought Apple back. So, and he was
Yeah, there
working.
was
He
back
was
then.
also he was also the head of Pixar at that time. So,
Mm.
and he turned it from a little company that made graphics machines that did animation into what it is today. So,
Oh, yeah, great man.
yep. All
Oh,
right.
Cecil,
What do you?
Cecil's here to say bye bye.
Yeah,
He
he
entered
is. You're gonna.
a lot of chat members when he pooped on you.
Yeah, he started doing that when I separated him from Lorelai. They have cages next to each other, but that doesn't matter to him. What matters to him is he's not allowed to be out with her, so he poops on me.
Yep.
I am fairly sure if I let Lorelai out here, he would stop doing it, but I'm not going to. And it's not good for either one of them. Well, thanks guys for being here. We'll see you on Wednesday. We may be interrupted with a truck dropping wood off while we're having our meeting, but we'll see. They're supposed to be here sometime between 10 and 2.
Excellent.
So the whole
Maybe my call is better until then, so I can entertain the people by talking.
bringing
Otherwise,
80.
I will make just cute clips in uh, basically the time Don is away. I think we have a lot in the meantime.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Murphy's Law, you know. Okay, guys. We
Yeah,
will
thanks
thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you, Amy, for moderating. Thank you, Eleanor, for moderating. And KK, would you say goodbye to everybody? That's not KK, that's Cecil. KK, you want to say goodbye? Yeah, he did. He said something.